Okay, so last week I did a quick video on my planted tank, and I mentioned in that I was having issues with particles floating around the tank, not being able to filter them out with my external Eheim Eco, and the fact that I thought it was probably due to the fact I was using glass lily pipes along with an external heater, and that was probably, to be fair, restricting the flow in the tank, which I think is the case. Now, you are going to get quite a lot of particles in a planted tank, I think, and so you do really want to get rid of them. Large weekly water changes will help you, but if you are still getting a build-up and your filter's not dealing with it, you really want to start looking at another method in combination with what you're already using. So I've decided to go out and get an internal filter. Now, I've had internal filters in the past. I've had a Tunzi comb line, which there was another video I did on that. That turned out to not be that great, considering, you know, it's a German brand, Tunzi, and we do look to German brands to make build and quality, or at least I do, or you would assume so. As I said, I am a bit of a Eheim fanboy. I've got no qualms about saying that, and that is because I find the build quality good, they're reliable, they're quiet, etc, etc. With a Tunzi, unfortunately, it wasn't to be the case, so I shipped that on. I am using a Tunzi Powerhead in that planted tank, and that's quiet and that's been good as gold. So, you know, maybe it was just that type of filter that wasn't any cop, to be fair. Now, I find there is an issue in this hobby with, you know, I'm going to use the term quality of products. That's not to say what they do necessarily, it's about what they look like, what they're built of, you know, what do they feel like in the hand. And I know that sounds really stupid, but in anything you do, you know, you're going to want things to look right. And I think with this hobby, a lot of the products, in my opinion, don't. They may do the job well, but I always find a lot of them to be quite cheap looking. I mean, with filters, if you're going to go ADA, you know, quality, stainless steel, they're going to cost you £1,000. Who can afford to just throw that at a filter? Fluval do the G3, the G6 externals, you know, and they look good. You know, they're getting to the level where you look at it and you go, okay, you know, someone can look at that and say that looks good. You're not necessarily hiding it away. Internals, Eheim do good internals, but they look horrendous. That they're green, they just stick out like a sore thumb. And so I had two options here. I was looking at the Fluval, and there was also a JBL corner unit that I was looking at. The JBL looked, I would say, the most aesthetically pleasing. It's quite plain, but the plastics are all the same colour. It doesn't necessarily stick out like a filter. And I like the fact that they use the method of magnets on the back, which I quite like. But due to the issues I've got in the size of the particles that I've got floating around in the tank, I decided that the cutouts just were not big enough. And so in the end, I went with this Fluval U3. There's a lot of videos banding around on YouTube about these, and, you know, they all seem pretty good. What I would say is, looking at it straight out the box, don't know if you're going to be able to see it there. You know, let's talk about materials used. If anyone's had an Italian car, a Fiat or something along those lines, yeah, in my opinion, this is what I'm talking about, and I'm sure this is going to be a really good filter, and hopefully I'll have enough time in this video to go through some more bits about it. But I can see what they've tried to do. You've got the matte, you've got the shine, you know, and they've tried to make it look, you know, maybe not what it is, a filter. I get that. But the plastics are just, for me, you know, maybe I'm being finicky, they're just not there. And you can't really see it on here. But the plastic used there is different to the plastic used there. Now here, okay, you know, they've done that on purpose. High shine, gloss, great, if you're into that sort of thing. But why would that plastic be different to that? And you know, I'm being finicky here. Okay, you might, you know, it's a filter, it's for a fish tank. But most people want things to look good. So for me, you know, does this look good? It's okay. Probably not. You know, I think we're going to have to wait a few years before, you know, not the level of ADA, but you're getting more quality in the way things look in fish tanks. So anyway, ranted off, went on a tangent a bit there, but let's talk about this filter. these review really, really well. What I do like about this, if I can get it open, which I can, is the way the media is stored. It's easy access. That's your carbon sponge. I'm sure that just flicks out. Not had a look at this yet. And that's your normal sponge. That should help with my particles. And you've got two of those, one on each side. And the vents, you know what, they're quite big. That's good for me. That's what I needed. In the middle section, if I can get this out without dropping it, which probably is going to be the case, you've got another container, and in there is the biomedia. Now, you know, I was talking about internals, externals just now. That amount of biomedia, you know, I don't know, I'm not a specialist in these things. I don't think that's going to do anything, to be fair. I've got, you know, at the end of the day, for me, this was more to do with getting the particles out of my tank, so I'm happy with the filterage from the sponges. But that amount of biomedia, I mean, you know, if you've got an external, if you've got an Eheim, you'll know what I'm talking about. That is nothing. But for me, I don't need that. I've got my Eheim Eco that's full of biomedia, very few sponges, so, you know, we've got the biological going on. Maybe this will help with the filtering of the particles with the sponges, so that's good. But I like that. That's easy access. That's good stuff. Now, on the back, still using the suction caps, which, you know, they've used for years. All companies have. But as I said, I like the magnets that go on the outside of the glass. Really clever. They've got them to a level now where they're strong enough. They stay on the glass. They don't move around. And you just have less stuff in your tank. I mean, I'm going to struggle squeezing this into my tank. But I think we'll get there. But as I said, you know, do I need all this in the tank? What is quite clever is, though, this unclips and just comes off. Or that did. There you go. So you can take the whole filter out to clean it, and that stays in your tank. And it goes in, I've done it a couple of times, it goes in, clips on really easily, no issues. Something else which I quite like about this is there's a knob on here, and you've got 3 ways of getting your water back into the tank once it's been siphoned into the filter. You can either choose it to go through the bottom, through the top, or you can use it as an internal spray bar, which is what I liked for the planted tank. As you know, I need flow, not necessarily massive agitation, but I need the flow to get the fertilizers around, keep the water moving, and that is what I really liked about this. It's a shame, you know, I'm asking again probably way too much. It's a shame you can't use this and one of these as well, because I would like some top agitation. I don't want a totally steel top. I'm using CO2, so I want the fish to breathe, and I will be ending up putting some more fish in there, so it would be good if it did have that. You know what, knowing me, I'll probably drill that, to be fair. So, and also these can be angled. You see 1, 2, 3, so you can have the water coming out to the left, centre or right. You can also, don't only have to have these standing up, you can have them angled like that. Either, you know, if you've got a turtle tank at the bottom or a normal tropical tank at the top, if that's what you want. So overall, looking at this, I think it will do the job it needs to. There's some clever innovations with it. As I said, internal filters, they're a bit of a mixed bag. You know, I've yet to see one that you could put in your tank. You'd say, yeah, okay, you know what, that really fits in with a tank. Again, I think the best one I've seen so far is the JBL. It just looks a little light to me. I don't think it would do what I want it to. It hasn't got the clever cartridges. You know, it's got its own systems, but I think, you know, of the two, this has got more innovations. But the JBL, you know, the design really slimmed down. I mean, do I need this high shine in my tank? And if I do, why are we not just making the whole thing high shine? Why is it half and half? And why are we using different plastics in different places? You know, this product, you know, I like it so far, but would I have spent an extra £15, £20 on something that, you know, even this shape, but just looked better quality? Yeah, every day of the week, of course I would. So that was a very quick video of me having a bit of a rant about plastics, I'm sorry to say, but also of this filter. It's the Fluval U3. I think it will do what I want it to do, and I'll probably do another video seeing whether it has actually worked or not.